Welcome to Modern Main Street Podcast. Today we are talking about how local buyers make decisions in 2026. So, local buyers are not making decisions the way they did even a year ago, and you probably already know that. If your marketing hasn't been working the way it used to, this is why. So, today, let's just address the current market conditions. This is what people are dealing with today. That's different. Costs are a lot higher. People feel less financially secure. Many people, not just some, but many people. Global uncertainty affects confidence, and there's a lot of global uncertainty right now. Let's face it. Spending decisions feel a lot heavier because there's a lot on the line right now. When people feel uncertain, they don't stop buying, they become more careful buyers. So, in the chat, I would love to know, have you noticed your customers taking longer to decide? Tell me what you have noticed. I would love to know. So let's go on. I can't wait to see your answers. And I know many of you are watching the replay, which is totally cool. So this video is about the psychology. It's not about tactics. This is not about a new platform or a new trick or a new tactic. It's about understanding how your customers are thinking right now, and that is so critical. So the old mindset and what many people are still doing is, how do I get more attention? How do I get more traffic? But the new reality is, how do I reduce hesitation? Because hesitation is what is keeping you from sales right now, not attention. Attention gets you seen, and psychology gets you chosen. So in 2026, there are basically three filters that buyers are using to make decisions, okay? And this is basically a simple framework that you can use going forward. Just remember this. If you remember nothing else, remember these three things. Your local buyers are filtering decisions through three different things. Number one is social proof. Number two is familiarity. And number three is reduced risk. And I'm curious, which one of those do you think matters the most right now? 1, 2, or 3? Drop it in the comments. I would love to see what you guys have to say. Love it. So let's look at each of those one by one and talk about them. They're all very important. So social proof gives your buyers trust through others. Okay, trust through others. Buyers trust other people more than they trust you. So when you're building trust, you're probably thinking, oh, I gotta get them to trust me. But the truth is that before they ever trust you, they're going to trust others. So other people are going to help them to make the decision. And this matters more because today, skepticism is higher than ever. People don't trust easily. They don't believe everything that's online with the use of AI, with the past marketing tactics, they've all been lied to in some way. Okay. So skepticism is higher than ever. People don't want to make mistakes because mistakes today are going to be costly in more ways than one. And we'll talk about some of those. And financial risk feels bigger than ever because it kind of is right now. So here's some data that supports what I am seeing in the marketplace right now. About 85 to 90% of consumers read reviews before they choose a local business. And let's face it, if you are looking for, say, a new restaurant or somebody to fix your heating system or somebody to put a new roof on your house, more than likely you are going to read those reviews because you're not going to trust them if you don't. So 85 to 90% of consumers are reading those reviews and before they choose a local business. Many won't even consider a business below a certain rating threshold. That is so critical for you to know and to focus on. So social proof includes things like reviews, online reviews, testimonials, client or customer speaking on your behalf. It's powerful. If you can get it on video, it's probably better than the written word because they can actually see that person talking about your business. Before and after results. So if you do any kind of construction project or maybe you're a hair salon, you want to take a before and after. Ask the people's permission first, but before and after results are powerful and they show your work. Word of mouth is extremely important because when somebody recommends you to their friends, to their neighbors, they're going to trust you a lot more than if they saw an ad that you have online because somebody that they know and trust recommended you. Word of mouth is super, super important. And community presence is extremely important also. So not only do you need the social proof, the testimonials or reviews, word of mouth, before and after results, but you need to be active in your community and have a presence in your community and become known in your community. Because in uncertain times, like the times we're in right now, people borrow confidence from other people. They're not going to trust what you say about your business, but they will trust their neighbor or their friend. So here's what most businesses are doing wrong right now. They're not asking for reviews, or if they do it, they're not doing it consistently. I can help you set up a system that you're asking for reviews from every single person that you do business with. That's the way to do it. And you should be. But if you're not, those reviews are coming in inconsistently, regularly. When's the last review you had on your Google? When is that last review you have on your website? When is it from? If it's not recent, if it's not within the past 30 days, it's too old. And that's a fact. So one of the things that businesses aren't doing is they're not asking for reviews and they are not doing it consistently enough. Also, many businesses don't showcase proof of your results, proof of what you did, whether it be a case study, but you can use those before and after photos. That's proof. But you really do need to show proof that you can do the job that your customers expect of you. And the last thing that many business owners are doing wrong is they're hiding the results. Maybe it's not even a thought. Maybe they don't want to brag, or they don't want to, overpromise. So they're keeping themselves smaller than they should be. I encourage you, talk about your results. Be confident in your results. If you have amazing results, you have a right to talk about them. Okay. So my question for you is, when was the last time you actively asked for a review? And when was the last review that you had on your Google profile or your website? I would love to hear from you. I'd love to see that in the chat. And I have ways that I can help you to fix that for sure. So the shift that you need to make immediately, if you are not already asking for reviews, is make reviews part of your process. It has to be part of your process, your everyday normal process. It has to be part of it, because that's how you're going to have the consistency and the reviews coming in that are going to show the social proof. You need to show weekly proof. Post about it. Do a before and after at least once a week. Okay. This isn't overkill. This is just showing your potential customers what you've done for your current customers and your past customers. Show the proof, because somebody needs to see that before they will buy. And highlight real experiences. So maybe you want to do a behind the scenes when you're doing a project. Many of the construction people that I have worked with, they will do a video of what they're actually doing. They will show the things that they are finding when they go out and they do the estimates, and they're doing the things. So you know that you can trust them. You know that this is the experience that you're going to get with them. Let's talk about the second one. So the first one was social proof, and we've just talked about that. It's so critically important. The second one is also important: familiarity. And familiarity is trust through repetition. People choose what feels known to them. So this is why it matters, because today the familiarity matters more now than ever, because the unknown feels so super risky today. There's so many unknowns today. Familiarity feels safe, and your customers need to feel safe with you. Repetition builds comfort. So there's a comfort level that people feel with you from seeing the same message over and over and over. So here's the thing. If someone sees you once, they notice you. If someone sees you twice, they may notice you more. But if they see you consistently, they learn to trust you. And that's just a fact. So what creates familiarity with your audience? Number one is consistent messaging. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what consistent means. Consistent does not mean that you have to post every single day or 25 times a day. Consistent means regularly. Consistent means you're doing it in a normal pattern, okay? And then you need to show up regularly, whether it's on social media, whether it's in the public, in your community. And regularly is very similar to consistently. So consistent messaging needs to be timely, but it also needs to speak of the same thing over and over and over again. Because if you're talking about building a house today and you're talking about putting on a roof tomorrow, Your customers don't know whether they can trust you or not to do the job that they have in store. If they are looking to put on a roof, but you're talking about, building a foundation one day, they're like, well, what does this business actually do? Okay. It doesn't feel safe or consistent to them. So the message needs to be very consistent and clear. You need to show up regularly. And that doesn't mean, again, that doesn't mean every day. It does not mean every day. You may want to show up 3 times a week online and once a week in the community. But whatever it is that you choose that you can stick with it, because that's what builds the trust with your clients. Saying the same thing multiple ways allows you to speak to the way different people think, but giving them the same message with the same results. People don't always choose the best option when they are making a buying decision. They choose the most familiar, safe option. So let that sink in. People don't choose the best option. They choose the most familiar and safe option. So if you're in front of them every single day saying the same thing over and over and over, they know they can trust you with that thing that they need you for. Okay? So what many businesses are doing wrong is that they are changing their messaging constantly. Say they're posting about a certain thing for a couple weeks and it doesn't seem to be working. What is working anyway? It doesn't seem to be working. And they change it. They change it right on the brink of it actually getting results for them. It needs to be consistent, and you need to be able to stick with it and trust that it will work for you. Or many business owners post inconsistently. Many of them post when they have time, which sometimes is not often at all. Sometimes not often at all, or never. And sometimes they have a lot of time. So there'll be a lot of posts and then there'll be nothing. And people don't trust that. So you need to have a system in place where you can do that regularly. Again, I can help you with all of these systems because I am super big on systems and processes. I think they're critically important for local business owners to be efficient and effective in what they're doing. And the other thing that I see business owners do wrong is that they try to be everywhere. Okay. So if you follow me for any period of time, it may appear that I am everywhere. But my business is marketing and business growth. So my job is to understand the platforms so that I can help my clients to be better at them. Okay. And if I don't understand them, shame on me. So I'm not active everywhere, but I am most places. But as a local business owner, you should not be. And here's why. Because when you're everywhere, you're usually effective nowhere. Okay. So for myself, and the same applies to me. For myself, I focus on specific platforms. You may see posts on a lot of platforms, but I'm not focused on many of them, honestly. So my suggestion is that you don't try to be everywhere. You pick 1 or 2 platforms that you love and your customers are there, and you focus on them. Don't focus on being everywhere, because being everywhere will not help you get to your goals. Trust me on that. And we can have a further discussion if you want. So be honest. Are you repeating the same message over and over, or are you reinventing it every week or every other week? Be honest, because the more honest you are about your business, the faster you're going to get results, because you're going to look at it with a critical eye. You are going to fix what needs to be fixed, and things will start working. So here's what you can do to fix some of this in your business. Pick one core message. One core message. That's it. Just one thing that you talk about all the time. So how I want you to think about this is, I want you to think about what you want to be known for. What do you want to be known for? It should be one main thing. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get other business to help people with other things that you do. That just means that you are focused on one core business, and it should be something that you love, something that you do well, and something that you get raving reviews about. Repeat that message consistently over time. Stay visible in the same places. Like I said, pick one or two only and focus on them. If you do this, and if you stick with it, you will start seeing results, because people will get to know you for what it is that you are talking about. And that is your core message. And that is not to say you won't get other business, because you definitely will. You're going to attract people that really align with your message. And that's what you want. So that number one, we focused on social proof. And number two, we focused on familiarity. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about reduced risk. Okay. Reduced risk. And this basically means there is trust through safety. And this is super important today, because the world does not feel safe right now. So you need to earn that trust by being the safe place. And the safer you feel for people, the faster people will decide. So remember that. And it matters so much right now in 2026, because money is tighter than ever. So many people are feeling the crunch. Prices are higher, gas prices are higher, food prices are higher, housing prices are higher. Everybody is feeling the crunch. Rent prices are higher. In fact, I saw a report about West Virginia that was talking about how many businesses, many local business owners are actually shutting their doors because their electric bills are so high. Remember, guys, who's funding the data centers for AI? We are. Everybody is. That's why electric bills are going up. So in West Virginia, though, the story that I was seeing was about business owners shutting the doors to their businesses because their electric bills were actually more than their rent. Some of them were over $2,000 a month. Imagine electric bills over $2,000 a month. In West Virginia, it's crazy. So prices are higher, things cost more, and money is tight. And that makes mistakes feel bigger than ever. So people are afraid of making mistakes. That is why you need to feel safe. Money is so tight that if they make a mistake and they lose money, it's going to hurt them a lot. It's going to set them back a lot. And that's why people are more careful today, and why you need to really focus on being the safe choice for them. Buyers are so much more cautious today than they have been in the past. And I do believe, honestly, that it will continue to be like this for quite a while. There was a time when you could throw something up online and people would just buy it, or people would stop in and buy it and go to the website and purchase it. That isn't the case today. Many business owners are struggling with that because they were used to that being the case, and it is not the case today. So today, buyers are being more cautious. So you need to be that safe choice for them. You need to make them know that if they buy from you, you are the best bet. You're going to back it up. Okay. So here's some of the things that your buyers are feeling right now. And I've already mentioned some of them, but I do want to go over them again all together. And the first one is financial risk. Your buyers are feeling financial risk. This feels so much bigger than ever right now because of so much economic uncertainty in the world. The second risk that your buyers are feeling and experiencing right now is time risk. And you might be thinking, what is that? Okay. So I want you to think about the state of the world right now. I want you to really take a look at what's going on. The Strait of Hormuz has been closed. Ships weren't getting through. Oil prices went through the roof. And oil is used to transport other things. So that could be goods for your business, okay? It could be things that you sell in your business, okay? It could be transportation for your workers, okay? All those things are going up right now. And even if these things get straightened out, there's going to be a delay in catching up. Okay. So time risk right now is critical for you as a business owner because the economic conditions are not going to be getting better anytime soon. They may get a little better, but you are never going to see what it was before all of this happened. Okay. Think about it. Things never go back to what they used to be. There's a new normal that's created. So that new normal is something that you need to get on right away so that you can be the first choice. Speed is of utmost importance right now due to these economic conditions. You need to be the first choice, the safe choice, and the one that they can count on. And then there's also the emotional risk. And this ties into everything else too. People are already pushed to their emotional capacity right at this moment. I mean, with the state of the world, the state of the country, I don't know what country you're in. I'm in the United States, but I know in the United States, people are really pushed to their limits as far as what they believe, what they don't believe, who they can trust and who they can't trust. They don't feel like they can trust the government. They don't feel like they can trust healthcare. They don't feel like they can trust a whole lot of things right now. So emotional risk to your buyer is something that is very real and always on their mind. So when they make the choice to go with you, it needs to really feel safe to them. They're already pushed to their capacity. You don't want to push them anymore. You want to be the best choice and you want to accommodate that customer and make them happy. So here's some of the things that they are saying to themselves. What if this doesn't work? What if this doesn't work? Oh my gosh, if this doesn't work, I'm out the money, I'm out the time. It's, my home project is delayed, maybe till next year, maybe 2 years from now. I don't know when that's going to be done. What if I waste money? What if I go with this contractor and things don't work out and they don't do good work? What if that happens? Then I've wasted money and I have to pay somebody else to fix it. So, and another thing that they think about is, what if I choose the wrong person? What if I don't choose that trustworthy person? What if I don't choose the person that's going to do what they say they're going to do? People don't buy today when they are convinced, okay? Gone are the days of trying to convince somebody to buy something. That is not how marketing works today. Convincing somebody to buy is kind of like, people feel like you're pulling the wool over their eyes, so to say. People buy when they feel safe. They buy when they can trust you. They don't buy when they're convinced. So here's how to here's a framework of how to actually reduce the risk with your clients, with your customers. Okay. And this is something when I'm talking about how to reduce the risk with your customers, this is something that I want you guys to think about hand in hand with your messaging consistency. Okay. Because when you are talking about these things, if it is very clear to them, if these things are very clear to them, you're reducing the risk by a lot. So the first one is to set clear expectations. So maybe you're talking about a project that you were working on with a client, and the client is maybe asking something that is unreasonable, or you're not sure if you can deliver, for instance. Okay. And clients, they ask you to do things all the time that you would need to jump through fire hoops to actually do. Okay. So in posting, in your messaging, when you set those clear expectations, you can say, this is what my customer wanted. This is what we found, and this is what I explained to them. So it can come out in your messaging, but it should always come out when you are dealing with your customers. Okay. So you want to set those clear expectations. Don't give them unrealistic expectations that you can't deliver on. Set realistic expectations with an explanation. Okay. Be transparent in your pricing whenever possible. People don't like sticker shock. They don't like when they feel like they're being taken over. They just want to know, what does it cost? Okay. They don't like surprises. And if it is appropriate, offer a guarantee. Now, you may think to yourself, well, I don't know if I can offer a guarantee, but here's the thing. When you offer a guarantee, there is a level of safety that is established with that guarantee, because a guarantee means, and I worked for a roofing company for a while. I worked with him on his marketing, and here's what happened. There were customers that he had that, he fixed something, but then the roof leaked. And he always, always, always went out and repaired it and made it right. Because when you do that, when you guarantee your work, they know that if something bad happens, now it didn't happen often, but it does happen. And they need to know that they can trust you to back up your work. That's why a guarantee is so important. And another thing that is super, super important with your customers and with your messaging is strong communication. Whether it is, your messaging, or whether it is dealing with your customers, you have to have very open communication with them. I know I, for one, and many of the contractors out there may use some kind of a text messaging app that they communicate with their customers. I know a lot of people seem to like that. And if you have that open communication with your customers, they are more likely to trust you. If they message you or try to call you or contact you and they don't get an answer, or it takes you a day to get back to them, they expect an answer pretty much right away. So when you have that strong communication established in your business, that reduces the risk for them and builds the trust. And in the whole process should be visible. You should have a visible process. Like, this is what happens, A, B, C, and D. That is where you can build trust and reduce risk very quickly with your customers. So I want you to think about the following question and come up with answers for your customers, because this is going to really help you. What do your customers worry about before they hire you? Do they worry about you not doing a good job or backing up your work? If they do, and you talk about guarantee, you've already solved that problem. So these are the things that you need to talk about to your customers, but you need to be proactive. You need to show them. Do they worry about, oh my gosh, is he going to destroy my house? Is he going to take my house apart and not put it back together again? There should be some kind of a guarantee, some kind of a promise in there that allows them to trust you. And this should be built into your messaging, built into your communication with your customers. So this is what you need to focus on. You need to think about what questions do they have before they hire you. Those are the questions that they need answered before they will buy. So let's bring it all together with a simple framework. In 2026, your marketing has one job: build trust faster. That's it. And that can be done through a simple framework of social proof, which is borrowed trust, familiarity, which is repeated trust, and reduced risk, which protects trust. So when you use that framework and you use it consistently, you will earn the trust that you deserve in your business. If marketing isn't working, it's not building enough trust. And that's a fact. So this is the shift that local business owners have to make right now. They need to shift from how can I get more people to see me to how do I make it easier for people to choose me? Because you are being seen. It may not feel like it because they're not choosing you. But what your job right now in 2026 is to make it easier for people to choose you by feeling like the safe bet, the only one that they will go with because they trust you. And so I really want you to think about that last question. How do I make it easier for people to choose me? When you know the answer to that, everything's going to change. The businesses that win in uncertain times are not the loudest. They're definitely not. They're the ones that feel the safest to choose. So this is exactly one of the things that we focus on in the Local Growth Hub, building a trust-based system that works when the market feels pretty unpredictable. So, I would love to invite you to join the Local Growth Hub, and it's on all my social media. But even if you don't, follow my podcast, Modern Main Street, because there is going to be more of this, more tips, more talk about what is going on. And we're going to keep you up to date with what's going on in the economy, what's going on in the world, and the global landscape, because there's a lot going on right now. And it can feel pretty uncertain for you also. And I created the Local Growth Hub so that you have a safe place. You have a place that you can ask questions. You have a place that you can kick around ideas for what is going on in the world in your neck of the woods right now. So I would love to have you there. It is a free group to join, and you can ask any questions that you want in there, and I will answer them. So that is what I have for you today. This is episode 7 of Modern Main Street Podcast. And today we did talk about, all the things that are going on in the world today and how your local buyers make decisions in 2026 because of that. I hope to see you next time on Modern Main Street.